Today I have the great pleasure of having a conversation with Dr. Amos Yahav, the inventor of Ogma Biomaterials' two products called Bond Appetite and 3D Bond. And we're going to be talking today about what brought him to this moment and how he feels about being the 2019 Edison Award winner. So, Dr. Yahav, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
What is biphasic calcium sulfate?
Actually, biphasic calcium sulfate is an evolution of a very old material that was in the market for more than 120 years. It has been used in the orthopedic field, plastic surgery field, oncologic and maxillofacial with amazing outcomes. In my early days, I started to perform augmentation procedure and I saw how cumbersome they are, how invasive they are to the patients. And you know, as a patient, you would like to have the procedure as fast as possible with less pain and less complication. At that time, I knew that something completely different needed to be done because up until now, we work with granules, membranes, which is a long procedure, more invasive and required high skillfulness. And I knew that we need to find something that could be like cement. Why cement? Because if you can see in the construction field, since they find the concrete, everything was different. And in the orthopedic field as well, but in our field, in the dental field, we didn't have it. I found two types of material that can be as cement. One is calcium phosphate and the second is calcium sulfate. But the calcium sulfate, I saw its virtues that it's transformed completely into the patient own bone. Even if it gets exposed, it's almost never get contaminated. All the procedure can be done less invasive. The problem was that it could not get hard in the presence of blood and saliva. So at that moment, I knew that this is the type of cement that I'm going to develop without changing its chemical structure. And it was like obsession, you know, to find a solution that can give him a different abilities. And now, after 15 years of development, it took us to develop the biphasic calcium sulfate. It took 15 years because we didn't want to change the chemical structure of the old material with its amazing virtues, but still has the ability to set immediately in the presence of blood and saliva. So now, actually, we can use it for all types of augmentation procedure.
So it took you 15 years to develop that. What great advantages does this new material bring?
Well, the greatest advantage are for the patient and for the clinician at the same time. For the patient, the procedure is less invasive because we don't do a tension-free flap and primary closure. We don't need to do big flaps because they are minimal as needed. Therefore, for the patient is less pain, less swelling. And the procedure, instead of taking 1 hour, in 10 minutes you can finish the entire procedure because graft placement and stabilization can take less than a minute. The only thing that takes you time is the suturing, which is normally, we cannot avoid this. So for the patient, in the end, he's going to have his own bone back and not something with his bone. Think about that. That's why our slogan is, "It's my bone," because at the end, you get your own bone back. What can be better than the biology and the nature?
That's really impressive. A quicker procedure, quicker recovery, and in the end, they have their own bone.
And less pain.
And less pain.
Think about that. When a patient goes to have a surgical procedure, always they are afraid. It's going to hurt me during the procedure. Later on, I'm going to be swelling. No, all of that, it's belong to the past. Now we have dozens of thousands of clinicians, hundreds of thousands of procedures done. That's amazing. And we are just at the beginning.
Excellent. So, what does it mean to you to be the Edison Award winner?
Well, it's a great honor and privilege because after those years of development, when you know inside of you that this is the right things to do, because don't forget, when you start with this, everybody thinks that you're stupid, that you don't know what you're doing, it's crazy to go in that direction. So I remember myself when I started, nobody wanted to invest nothing in this. And they kick us out from every door that's possible. At the beginning, I had two partners. One of them, when he saw that nobody wants to invest, he said, "Bye-bye, I'm going." The other one that stayed with me at the beginning, when we start to do the regulation, we invited an expert for regulation and we sat around the table and the expert of the regulation started to tell us what we are going to pass. After 10 minutes, my partner went out from the room. I didn't know what happened. I think maybe he's not feeling well. When I came out, after that we finished the meeting, he came to me and said, "Amos, I'm out." So I was stayed alone. I bought his part and I stayed alone. At that time, I sold 2 of my houses that I had. I mortgaged my apartment and I did it by myself. So at the beginning, it's difficult. It was very, very difficult. But when you get this Edison Award, it shows that all of this long road that you did was worse. And you start to get appreciated also by the clinician who using it, of course, and also by others that so it's a great honor and privilege for me.